all other customers, and this right extends to people who use service animals. While service animals are most often dogs, the law allows use of other types of animals, such as monkeys and birds, who have been trained to perform tasks to assist people with disabilities. There is no national certification for service animals, so according to the ADA, you are not permitted to ask for any. You are only allowed to ask 2 questions. Is that a service animal? And what tasks does the animal perform for you?
Okay, before he clicks on the next one, understand that this is self-paced. The driver can do it from their home if we want to set it up that way, or it could be configured that it be done at a specific location as the cab company or a specific location as the regulator. So sometimes there's some issues just to confirm who's taking the test. We're more interested in getting the information out, but we understand that someone may say, I want to control the environment in which this is taken, and then we'll talk when we get done about possible overall certification for the 9 months.
You cannot ask the person about his disability or ask him to give you a demonstration of how the animal performs. When you think about it, time is money, and you really don't want to waste a lot of it talking this over anyway. If it is a service animal, you are required to sell a ride to the customer and transport the service animal. Spending time arguing or fretting about this is not beneficial to anyone. At the same time, the customer has a responsibility to keep the animal under control at all times. Taxi cab drivers are not required to load, hold, or touch the service animal. In fact, you should just pretend as if the animal isn't there and allow the customer to take care of it. Following are examples of reasons that cannot be used to refuse service to a customer with a service animal. Allergies. Direct contact with the dog's dander or saliva is usually required to initiate an allergic reaction. There is no reason why a driver would have this kind of contact. Religious beliefs. Businesses must operate according to federal law, including the Americans with Disabilities Act, or ADA. Most religions make exceptions for working animals. Fear or dislike. Service animals are highly trained and selected for their ability to behave appropriately in public places, including vehicles. You may refuse service to a customer if the service animal is not under control or if it is exhibiting aggressive behavior. Click on the Play Video button to watch how a driver would properly treat a passenger with a service animal.
You pull to the curb when you see someone hail your taxi.
Good morning.
Morning.
However, once you stop, it becomes apparent that the person has a service dog.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Doing great.
Drawing on your good business sense and your knowledge of the ADA, you offer the same level of service you'd offer anyone willing to purchase a ride from you.
Watch your head getting in.
Yep.
Because you want your customer to be comfortable, you pull up the seat in the front to afford as much room as possible on that side of the vehicle for the dog.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Where can I take you this morning?
The customer thanks you and makes a mental note to consider your extra service when calculating the tip later.
Even though you are required to serve disabled customers with service animals, you are not required to service disabled customers who are engaging in illegal, seriously disruptive, or threatening behavior. If a passenger's actions are making you uncomfortable, think about how you would handle the situation if the customer did not have a disability. If you or your company has established policy and practice for responding in such situations, then you can apply that policy or practice equally to situations involving customers with disabilities. The primary point here is to be fair and not to apply a different standard for people with disabilities. You have completed Lesson 2. You may select the Review Lesson 2 button to review, or select the Lesson 2 quiz button to take the quiz. Customers who use service animals must be served under the ADA. True? False?
You got to commit to hit the submit button.
I know. I'm just.
Five minutes submit.
No, I got it.
Did you see those submit on the bottom?
Taxi cab drivers are not required to blank a service animal. A. Load. B. Hold. C. Touch. D. All of the above.
Now these questions can be added.
Which of
to,
the following
modified,
are
and get the
acceptable
wrong
reasons
answer,
for
and
refusing to
redirect you
transport a
back to
customer with a service
why you
animal?
got the answer wrong.
A. Allergies. B.
Should I get it
Religious
wrong?
beliefs. C. Fear or dislike of animals. D. None of the above.
Yes.
All right. I'll get the next one out.
You are not required to serve disabled customers if they are engaging in threatening behavior. True. False. Even though you are required to serve disabled customers with service animals, you are not required to service disabled customers who are engaging in illegal, seriously disruptive, or threatening behavior. If a passenger's actions are making you uncomfortable, think about how you would handle the situation if the customer did not have a disability. You are always required to serve disabled customers even if they are engaging in threatening behavior. True?
Would you like to see the section on hearing and speech impaired? Or we can then take questions. What you do? Not getting a response one way or the other.
Yes.
Yes? Okay, let's go on to 3. Again, remember this is not a
Lesson
gotcha,
3,
it's an
Passenger
educational
Assistance
issue.
Techniques. Objectives. Communicating effectively with customers with disabilities. Understanding how disabilities affect passenger behavior. Assisting older adults.
This was developed in conjunction with Project Action.
Communicating effectively with customers with disabilities is both the law and good customer service. Some people have disabilities that make speech difficult. It is important to remember that slow or difficult to understand speech does not mean that the person doesn't know what it is he or she wants to tell you. Follow these steps when dealing with a difficult to understand passenger. It's best to start out by looking directly at the individual if possible and indicating that you are willing to do what's needed to make communication possible. This customer is used to the kind of effort that is needed to get someone else to understand him, and he will appreciate a show of patience and understanding. Next, listen and ask him to repeat what you don't understand. Don't under any circumstances indicate that you understand if you do not. Finally, repeat back what you think you hear and let him tell you if you have it right or if you need more information. Again, presuming a lack of competence because speech is difficult is a very hurtful and frustrating mistake to make for both you and your customer. Watch the following video on how to deal with a disabled passenger who is difficult to understand.
You've just picked up a passenger and asked her where she's going. When she tells you, you can't understand what she is saying.
Where would you like to go today?
Or like 311.
30?
Instead of putting the taxi into drive immediately, you turn around in your seat and ask her to repeat her destination.
30th Street?
When she does, you think you understand 301, but you're not sure of the address.
301? Okay.
Now she only needs to work on communicating the part you don't yet understand.
St. Blue.
St. Lo?
You are being patient because you know she knows where she wants to go, and if you give her time, she will communicate it to you. Her speech is getting a little louder, but you also know that this is because of the effort that is required and not a sign of anger or frustration.
301 St. Paul Street. On our way. All right, very good.
You know by the smile on her face, once you've taken the time to get all of the information clear, that you have provided excellent customer service and that she will be happy to pay you for another ride in the future.
Sometimes, more effective communication from the taxi driver is what's needed. Customers who are blind need to hear verbal communication, such as an announcement that you are a taxi cab service, information that will help them understand where they are when they exit your vehicle, and verbal responses to questions instead of gestures such as nodding your head or pointing your finger. Watch the following video on how to assist a visually impaired customer.
You drive to an apartment building to pick up a passenger, and you see him standing on the sidewalk with a white cane in his hand. Since he is using a white cane, you correctly guess that he is visually impaired or has limited vision, and that although he has heard your vehicle, he has no way of identifying it as the taxi cab he has ordered. You roll down your window and tell him,
Red Top Cab 271. Did you call a cab, sir?
Yes, sir.
Let me help you with the door.
That'd be great, thank you.
Watch your step getting in.
He then gives you the address of the office building that is his destination, and you're off to make the trip. When you arrive, he asks you in which direction is the entrance of the building. You know that pointing out the window isn't going to be very helpful, so you tell him that when he gets out of the taxi.
Okay, the building's directly to your right. Do you need some help getting inside?
Appreciate the offer, but I think I've got it.
Okay, the fare will be $14.95, please.
All right. Have a good day.
Okay, Eric.
Always be sure to offer assistance if you think it is needed.
All right.
Customers who are deaf or hard of hearing may need to receive communication in written form. They may also be able to read your lips if you look at them and speak clearly when you talk. Visual communication such as hand gestures is also effective with customers who are deaf. Watch the following video on how to assist a passenger who is hearing impaired.
We'll just play this video and then we'll stop. I think you get the idea of what we're talking about.
A man opens the door to your taxi and gets in.
Hello, sir. How are you?
You say hello and ask where he is going,
Where you going, sir?
and he doesn't answer you. He pulls out a piece of paper and hands it over the seat to you.
Oh, Bayview Hospital. I know how to go there.
Understanding that he is communicating that this is where he wants to go, you turn around to look at him directly, nod your head, and you start the trip. When you reach the destination, you pause a second to think about how to tell him his fare. In this case, you remember that he communicated with you with written information, so you take his paper and write on it the amount owed for the fare. You pass it back to him with a smile, and he nods and pays you.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Once again, you have provided effective communication to complete another successful trip.
Enjoy your day, sir.
You just don't have to do anything.
The primary point to remember is that all of your customers, including those with disabilities, are people engaged in taking care of their own business. Sometimes you can make the trip easier by being aware of your customer and deciding to be a little more verbal or visual with your communication as needed.
Okay, why don't we stop there and we'll talk a little bit about this. So you can see what we're trying to do is model the behavior that we think is the norm and try and work on a nationwide basis to impart those norms to drivers so that that's where we're going to start the base training from. Again, that's not to replace anything that you're doing locally at your city in terms of testing or anything like that. But again, why would you spend any time trying to teach a driver about turning around and asking for the address or doing anything when we can do that at a baseline level in a way which we think is a pretty effective training?